Hey, how you doing? This is Charles White. I am the producer of CCQ, editor, host, and with a bunch of people that's behind me. I'll run their names later. We really don't have a lot of time to do this. It's been a while since we've been back. It's been a lot that's been going on in California, in the United States, abroad. Mainly with the prison system is what we want to do this. This is for people that's been to prison. This is for people that's getting out of prison. This is for people that got family members that's in prison. Today we have a very, very important show. I want to thank Mr. Douglas McKoy for opening up his home for us to shoot this video and for this interview. I think the last one we done was Mr. Glenn Bailey, and that show was, I have to say, if I can use the word spectacular in that type of way, I'm going to use it like that. I had a lot of feedback from that show, so I want to thank the men and women of purpose for helping getting this show started. And then I want to thank Mr. Doug McKoy. I'm going to bring him on and let him talk about what's been going on with him, the changes that he's made since we last talked, and also the guy that we're going to have on the show today. It's a great show. Really sit back, get your sons, get your cousins, get your brothers, get your uncles, your fathers, the family. This is a family show. So you can watch it, and you really, really need to check this out. So without further ado, I want to bring on my man, Mr. Douglas McKoy, introduce himself and tell us a little bit about what we're doing here today. When we get back from this little brief break, we'll have Mr. Douglas McKoy on. Thank you very much. All right, we're back. I want to thank you guys for just being here, really. So, again, without further ado, I want to bring on my man, friend, and mentor, Mr. Douglas McKoy. Thank you very much.
Good morning, Mr. White. How you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. So, tell my audience, the CCQ audience, they remember you from the show, but give them a little brief history. Catch them up on who you are and what's going on with you.
Okay, I'm Mr. Douglas McKoy, McKoy. I'm a real McKoy. And I met Mr. White out in the community. He's doing great positive work. Like minds have to come together and try to make a difference in this world today. And especially with all the incarceration that's going on here in California. And a lot of people that's incarcerated, they coming back to the community. And so I think that's overlooked by some, maybe not by all, but the people that's coming out, they need somebody. They're going to be our neighbors, and so on and so forth. And they need somebody to hold their hand and help guide them through the process of transitioning back into the community. Because once, if you go after coming up and you learn to be a criminal, you have to learn to be a mainstream positive person. And so that's what different organizations out in the community is doing, and I'm one that's involved in that. And then I started off with an organization called The Passage to Real Life that's based in Oakland. And then from The Passage to Real Life, I connected with the men and women of purpose in Richmond. And my position there was prison and jail outreach. That enabled me to go into the county jails and the different prisons, and especially CMF Vacaville and San Quentin, the Time or Two, and San Bruno. But I'm a Solano County resident, so CMF Vacaville is important to me. And so going in there, dealing with the long-term commitment group, some of those guys have been down a long time, and they starting to come out. And so going in there and letting them know what they need to do to transition back to society after living in an environment like a jail and prison environment, it's a process that you have to go through.
Let me ask you a question, Mr. McKoy. How important is it for inmates when they get back into society to have this information centralized? For them to be able to know where to go to get help and get the services that you're speaking about.
It's very important. It's like after living in an environment like a jail or a prison environment and being told what to do, when to get up, when to eat, when to sleep, and once you get back out of here, you're not going to have that. So it's like you need somebody to help you go through this process and meet you where you're at, right? Because there's a lot of fear that come along with that, and so you can't bring with how you was living in the institution out here in the mainstream society. And so it's important that you repeat that you need somebody to hold your hand and help you. And then with that, after being, I have an organization, it's called Changing Criminal Behavior Consulting Services. And I created this curriculum. It's called Ending the Cycle. And Ending the Cycle was 14 lessons that will help them along with the mentoring that I do and some of the other people do to help them transition and become productive citizens in society. And when I go inside, I let them know off the top that first of all, you're not a good criminal. So if you were a good criminal, you wouldn't be locked up. Right. And then most of them are recidivists, what they call recidivists. So they just repeat offenders. They're going in and out, in and out. So this information that they need is very important, and they need somebody to point them in the right direction, and then talk to them. And when they start having those way out thoughts, they need somebody to hold it, man, to help slow them down and help them get back on track. Because in life is a challenge and it's difficult, and so you can't run. You can't go to the chow hall when you're out here, and then you can't get angry because things don't go your way, and that's life. Life is up and down process. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad, but you can't do things out here that you were doing in here. So it's very important. Repeat that they get this information and they get to talk to somebody that have been through that transition through what they currently face with, and it'll be good for them, for their family, and the community.
Okay, man, said a lot right there. I hope you're getting all this down. We're going to put some of this information down at the end of the show so that you can get in contact with Mr. Doug McKoy. I know if I said raise your hand, if anybody that knows somebody that's in prison or have a family member that's in prison, I'm sure it'd be a lot of hands raised. And this information you're not going to just learn on your own. Someone has to direct you, teach you, educate you on how to deal with just the prison system all the way around, and just coming home all the way around. Here's a question for you. You being in the programs that you've created and being involved with, you meet people that's just getting out from doing the year, and Mr. Glenn Bailey, 42 years. You meet people that's been down. Are you seeing some similar, let's say the attitudes, are they similar about getting out, or their differences? What are some of the differences? What's some of the similarities of them coming home with the 1 year to 10 years to 30 years? What's going on with it?
I got a call yesterday from a guy that just got completed doing 41 years. And so, and I know, like you say, Mr. Bailey did 42 years, and then I know Shahid, you probably talked to him later, he did 38 years. But most of these men that have done long periods of time, it's amazing because when they're eager to get out of here, but at the same time they have fears about what's going on. Or I was talking to a man earlier, and he talked about just hearing a dog bark. Hearing the dog bark caused a reaction from him, and being able to see cars and going into the mall, and people are going into Walmart, and people moving about, and people out here in the community. Everybody got a text, everybody's texting, everybody got a cell phone and got their tablets and so on and so forth. And so that's different. But amazingly, these men, they're not bitter. These men, you would think that these men would be bitter. They're not bitter. These men want to get involved and fit in where they can fit in at and be productive and help society. But that stereotypical stuff, like these guys are dangerous and they angry and they want to hurt, it ain't about that. It's about they know that they have, I believe that these men and women that's coming back out here have a large role to play and help bring about change out in this community. But they need somebody to give them a chance, and everybody deserve a second chance at a first class life. And we can't shy away from these people, because if we do, then we all gonna lose, right?
That's right.
It's about winning. It's about winning and being productive and taking society back to the next level. Because over the years, we have a society has gone through a decline, right? And so they could probably come to the conclusion that locking people up is not the key. I'm not gonna sit here and say that some people need to be locked up. I thought I never feel like that.
That's right.
But some people need to be locked up and they don't need to be out here. But there's many of them that's in here, that's in there, that can come out here and take charge and connect themselves with mainstream people and get involved and get some of this work done to bring about positive change.
We got a lot of shows inside this one show. We cannot do it all. So I hope you guys continue to stay watching CCQ, and that stands for Convict Confidential Quarterly. Email me later if you want to know how we came up with this name, why we saying Convict, why is it confidential, why you only do it quarterly. It's just what we do. Okay, Mr. McKoy, you have brought someone to us. Can you tell us a little bit about the guy that we're getting ready to interview and why he's here today?
His name is Shahid. I met Shahid, like I say, being in the system. And then lastly, I met him, we're going into CMF Vacville, like I said, working with the long-term commitment group. Shahid Scott was a member of the long-term commitment group. And so after that, we stayed in contact with one another, and we still in contact with one another. And once I embrace one, it's about going the distance with him. It's not just writing a letter and sending him a picture and then just dropping him, right? And so we stay in constant contact through telephone or visits and so on and so forth. And Shahid has been out here now for 7 months after doing 38 years. And Shahid is gainfully employed. He's a very positive man. You wouldn't even know that he did 38 years in prison unless he exposed that to you. He's an intelligent man. He's a humble man. He has a very good heart, and the man is awesome. And so we want to introduce him and let him say what he have to say today, and hopefully somebody can feel his spirit and feeling his spirit, they'll give somebody else another chance, because these men, as well as women, they deserve a second chance at a first-class life. And I keep repeating that.
Right.
But this is real.
Now you heard Mr. Shahid Scott. Is it Shahid Scott?
Shahid Scott.
Shahid Scott. 38 years. So I want you to think about that a little bit. When we get back, we're going to have Mr. Scott on, and we're going to talk to him. He's going to share his story. That's very important. For someone to come on television and share their story with you, it means a lot. Because he don't have to do this, you know what I mean? And you don't have to have this type of education. A lot of people can write books about the prison system. They can talk about it, go on TV, create more sensationalized television shows than this. Stuff flying through the air, a bunch of graphics, but that's not what this show is about. This show is about to get you guys in touch. Listen to the guys that's been there. There's no more education than wisdom. You don't get no stripes for going to prison, but you do develop some type of wisdom. I've said that before. And the wisdom that you have, you're only going to get it if you've been there. It's unfortunate you had to go, but a lot of people have been in unfortunate situations and developed wisdom and brought it back to help you to deal with life in general. So just think about it. 38 years. What were you doing 38 years ago? Just think about it. We'll be right back. All right. CCQ. All right, we're back. I hope you guys are really paying attention to this show. Look down here. This is how you can get in contact with me. This is how you can get in contact with Mr. McKoy. And email us. Contact us if you have any questions, any reason that you may have. We don't just throw this stuff out here. The questions that you ask us is confidential. A lot of people are embarrassed about going to prison, embarrassed about being in jail. What you did, that's what you done. It's what you're going to do. That's really important. A lot of people there's people that's been to jail that's sitting in high places right now. You never know. And a lot of people done wrong didn't make it to jail. You know, and they didn't get a chance to correct their mistakes. Sometimes going to jail help you see, oh, wait a minute, this is not for me. And you can correct your mistakes. But there's guys that haven't been there yet and haven't had the opportunity to see that and don't know why they should correct their mistake, you know, and they're still out doing the same stuff that they're doing. So take it for what it is. But without further ado, I want to thank Mr. Shahid Scott, and for sharing his story. And let me introduce to you. Here he is right here, Mr. Shahid Scott. How you doing?
How you doing? Something.
All right, salam. All right, let me ask you right off the bat. We do the question marks here. So first, who are you?
I'm Shahid Scott. Did 38 years, San Quentin, alt CDC period. Straight.
Okay, hold. Let me see. Before the prison, who are you?
Before prison, I was hard-headed little youngster, didn't listen, thought I knew everything. People told me what I should do, which I shouldn't do, and I thought that I was the brain.
Where were you raised at?
I was raised in Compton and then raised in Oakland.
Raised in Compton?
No, West Oakland.
L.A. to Oakland?
Yes.
What was that change? Like, when did you get to Oakland?
I got to Oakland, that was in the 70s.
70s. Tell me.
From down south to the Bay Area was a great big difference. Great big difference.
How old were you when you made that move?
I was about 20.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I was in my early 20s.
Okay, so you really knew down south. You didn't move like when you were 3.
No, sir.
You grew up down south, and then
sir.
you came here.
Yes, sir.
So what was some of the differences there?
Well, it was more respect. It was unity. We had where the brothers talk to you. They saw you doing something wrong. They say, young blood, you know, that ain't cool. Don't do that. And they said it in a tone where I didn't plex. I listened. I looked at him. I said, okay. And I listened. Because, you know, you get tired of bumping your head against the wall. Because you keep bumping your head, there's going to be a whole lot of blood clouds. And every time you look at that red spot, every time you do something wrong, that is going to get a little redder and redder because you keep bumping your head.
Okay, and you got to Oakland. What was Oakland like?
Wow. But when I came here, it was around the Ward Brothers time. The Black Panthers, the unity, when you walk around the lake, you saw the beautiful women kicking around. I didn't see that down there. They got beautiful women all over the world. But it was the lake, the unity, the clubs, the jazz clubs, the blues clubs. And I said, wow, I like this. You know, I enjoyed all this. And I met people that cared. Down south, a lot back at that time, it was more about me. You know, and found out that me, at certain times, yeah. But when you come trying to better yourself, it got to be, with that word help, it got to be more than me. Because help is somebody else.
Are you married? Were you married?
Yes. Well, I was married then, we broke up.
Okay.
And I'm married now. I've been with my wife now for 32 years.
Okay, wow.
Yeah, alhamdulillah, yes. And we got 5 children, got a home, we working and we happy, man. I mean, love at first sight, I experienced. The love of being with somebody purely, not without stepping outside the boundaries and having that woman on the side. You know, I'm happy. Because woman on the side now is death.
You're absolutely right. Ashley Madison, ask somebody.
AIDS and HIV is prevalent. A lot of people have it, don't know. I was a peer educator when I was going to the university. I'm saying university is prison-like, but I say university because it was a school of knowledge.
Okay.
As you know, as a man seeking, thinketh, so is he.
Do you mind if we talk about the case?
Yeah, it's open. It's an open book. It's for the public.
Okay, around 38 years.
Yes, sir.
What was it like, before we get into that, what was it like when you heard the judge say, did you know you were facing, what did you think you were facing?
I didn't know. I'm first termer. I didn't know.
First termer?
Yes, the first time ever going to prison.
First time going to prison, yes. 38 years.
Yes.
So you see these guys coming into prison, First time, 16 months, 2 years, 3
yes,
years.
crying like a little baby looking for milk. I got sick of it. I didn't want to hear it. I'm doing life. I did not see where I am right now.
So you were sentenced to life.
Yeah, 7 to life. That's a crucifixion.
And see, that's the thing about it. A lot of people think when you do 7 to life, it means 7 years and then you can come home.
No.
You got 7 to life in the
CDC system life.
What year is this?
77.
77. You got 7 to life.
Yes, sir.
And you just were released this
7 months ago.
7 months ago.
Yes, sir.
That's this year.
Yes, sir.
2015 or 2014.
Yes, sir. 14.
2014. Wow. So when you got when they said 7 to life, did you think, were you on that same page? Or do about 7, 8, 9?
That's what I thought at first. But once you get into the system, they can tell you 1 to life, 2 to life, 3 to life. Life means life. That's law, federal law. So you can be in prison the rest of your life until you die. But it's the programs you take, the things you do in order to help you get yourself out. There are programs in prison, universities, that if a man wants to help himself, they're there for him. There's people that come into the prison. It's like, I met Doug. I've been knowing Doug McKoy, the real McKoy, for years. And he has a curriculum right here. It's Ending the Cycle. This is the book that I advise everyone that's in this audience need to read 3, 4, 5 times. It's a good book. I read it, I studied it, and I'm being successful. I have not been violated. I'm working. I have a good job, a very good job. Work for the government, and I'm an ex-con. Ex-cons can get jobs. A lot of people in prison don't think they can get jobs. That's crap. Why listen to a person that keeps going back into prison that can't stay out? Talk to somebody that's being successful out and let him tell you how to be successful.
Right.
Because success comes with success. Success does not come with failure. So I'm just working and I'm being with the brothers and I listen. I learn how to listen. Because one time I was hard-headed, man. I was like old rock you see in the front yard. But after that red spot on the wall had too much blood clot I had, I started listening and I started seeing a whole new light. And you know, I listened to all the teachings and I said, okay, Elijah Muhammad said this. Farrakhan said this. The Imam said this. And I started walking a whole new light. Once you decide to listen and open up that rock up here, change will come. It's in here, how to change.
We definitely gonna show you guys how to get in contact with Mr. McKoy and to get that reading information, get that book. It's very important that you listen to people that's been there and read information that's concerning you on how to help you. You have to. Okay, back to the court. You're going to court. Can I ask you why you?
Yeah. Yeah, well, I call it murder robbery B.
Okay.
It was initially my participation in trying to buy an item to where me and this man got into an argument, and through my teachings of protecting myself, the man pulled a switchblade. Back in our days, you used to buy a switchblade on the counter at Thrifty's and Newberry's for $1.25. They had a little box behind glass, and they had knives. And I know the sound of a switchblade, and when it was a switchblade, everything snapped just that quick. And I killed him.
You shot him?
No, stabbed him.
You stabbed him. So carrying knife for your own protection?
Yes.
So what do you think about cats that's carrying guns for their own protection right now?
Well, a gun itself is innocent. The person behind the gun is the one that causes the problem. Because the gun you can set on the table, it ain't gonna do nothing. Soon as you pick that up and you squeeze that trigger, okay, you's the killer. Because a lot of people get guns now in their head think they're Superman. There's no such thing as a Superman. You carry a gun, that kid carries a gun bigger than him. The average youngster nowadays got guns and they can't even shoot straight. Person right here, they after, but they shooting people way over here. Bullets have no mercy. Bullets gonna go where they go. And when they hit something, it's gonna hit you. And people with guns, man, people need to be educated on guns and carrying guns and the consequences of their actions. Because the consequences of their action is just like a tree. You are the seed. Your actions is that growth of this tree. Each branch of a tree is a relationship or a person. A leaf is a relationship or a person. Because you know somebody, that person knows somebody, that person knows somebody, and it's a chain reaction. You hurt one person, you hurt a whole lot of people.
Exactly.
And you don't even know it. A lot of people don't even realize that.
Yeah, there's a lot going on. You see it in the news every day, you know. And
Yeah, they killing us. They killing people of color, mainly, I'm looking at them. I don't care if you Mexican, you got black in you. You Filipino, you got black in you. All races got black in them. Because we the cream of the planet Earth. DNA will tell it. If you don't believe me, go take a DNA test. You'll find out. They killing people innocently. You going down the street, like they shot that little kid in his back 8 times. And nothing happens to them police. Going to their friend to try to get convicted to go to jail is not going to happen. Not one of them police went to jail. Only what they get they get paid leave or get a reward.
So I take it the court didn't see your case as self-defense?
No, because I'm black and he was white. And I had all white jury. They wouldn't put a black on the jury. Every time a black came on, they kicked him off. Mexican kicked him off. Police, people, the grandmothers and people that had police backgrounds, they kept them on the jury. And a PD is a prison dispatcher. Make sure you go to prison. That's all they do. You might find 1 or 2 that might help you, but out of the 100, just think about 98 is probably, all bad.
PD, public defender.
Yes, sir.
Public defender, okay. You're in court. Judge say you had a jury trial.
Yes, sir. Yes,
jury
sir.
came back guilty.
Yes, sir.
Did you have a sentencing phase?
Yes, sir.
And when they came back and said 7 to life, what were you thinking?
It was 7, when they said 7 to life, I heard all the hollering and yelling and woo. And I thought that, well, my life is over. I'll never see society again. I never see my kids again. My house, my cars, all what I had is gone. And I was hurt. I was hurt because I was looking at everything I lost, material things, at that time. And I said, man. And I looked back at the woman I had, and she cried and just walked out the door with my kids. And my life went to shambles after that. But then I had to grip myself, because I wasn't going to commit suicide like I seen other people do.
You saw people commit suicide
Yes, sir.
in prison?
I used to be the institutional cameraman in San Quentin and Tracy, Vacaville. I saw death. I seen death in every way that a person get killed in prison. And I took the pictures. And people that know me, they know. And I used to sit there and look at it and read the paperwork. And say, wow. It made you start thinking. When you started saying, wow, man, did you see people that you knew, had a little feelings for? But when you do certain things in prison that's wrong, there's the consequences for your reaction. And a lot of them did wrong. Sometimes you didn't have to. You just been in the wrong place. Back in them days, if you went to Quentin, like through Blood Alley, if you walked too close to that door, you got snatched in and you were dead. You walk in the center, you keep your weaponry with you. And that's the way you had to live. You had to live like hyenas and lion and tigers in the jungle. That was your mentality set. And I had to go through that. Being in prison, man, it takes you through the horrible mentalities or characteristics that a human has to have. Everybody got it in them. But prison life brings it out. When you first go into prison, when I first went into San Quentin, my brother, I was bodybuilding. I was 235, yoked up, ready for, bodybuilding contest. I took second. And I saw some of the biggest dudes that I ever seen in San Quentin. They had dudes with 24, 25-inch arms, cold. You had dudes that was, the smallest man in San Quentin back in the 70s had 18-inch arms cut up. The smallest. And everybody had the attitude, and when we were on the chain, I'm going to tell you, when you get to prison, this is what happens. You take the bus load from the county, go in the county jail. I'm going to go backwards a little bit.
Okay, yeah.
But when you get convicted of 7 to life, the county jails put you in another tank for going to the prison. Everybody in that tank is going to some prison. Back then they had you had Chino, Tracy, Tehachapi was, I think, reception. You go there for a while, then they weed you out like slavery. Okay, you going to this plantation, you going to that plantation. Change the name of plantation, and you going to this institution. And your neighbor's on the list, and dudes be, oh man, I'm going to Quentin, I'm going to Solidary. Next time you hear the police coming, they done hung themselves or took too much dope at OD because they said, I can't take it. But when you get on that chain and you ride that old Grey Goose, that's the worst riding thing that I ever felt. You go to that prison, you get off the bus, you're going to be shackled and chained with everybody that's going to that joint, that's labeled to go on that bus. And when I went into Quentin, dudes turned themselves out at Eastgate. When I mean turned themselves out, they said, I got to find a man, I can't do this. And I looked at them, because I didn't understand that. You know, I'm a youngster, low riding harder than, low ride on the street, hit the hydraulics on hips, pick up concrete. And I said, well, I can take care of myself, so I ain't worried about that. And they took us off the bus. The police and R&R came out, went in, it seemed like it was a couple hours. The Tower 16, the man turned his back and went over towards the furniture factory, and the whole yard came up just like ants on sugar. What you in here for? What's your name? Your paperwork get there 3 weeks before you get there. So if you did something wrong or some dirt, they know you did it. They had the paperwork out with your picture on it and what you did.
When you say did something wrong, did some dirt, I mean, you in prison, you did something wrong.
Yeah,
so what do you mean?
Certain crimes, we call it dirt. Child molestation, raping, abusing kids, abusing family members. No, we don't like that. You come in, they're going to say, okay, you're a rapist. You was a child molester. Okay, you didn't last long. You didn't last long. And they had this white guy on the back. He was shaking, scared. And what really got me, I'll never forget it, this white man walked to this white boy, looked at him, stuck his tongue in his mouth like you would stick your tongue in your woman's mouth and eat. Stuck his finger in that man's rectum. I seen the way the dude jumped, and I looked. The debris on his finger, he wiped it on his shirt and said, "You gonna be my bitch. You going to cell soon." So they know what cell you're going to. They know which wing you're going to. And the next time I seen him, he was eyebrows arched, hair off his face switching, and said his name was something else. And I seen the white boy walking right on the side of him. I said, man, I killed somebody.
Now you got guys out here think that when you got in here, were you one of the ones that thought that this could never happen to you as far as prison, what's going on? Because you got a lot of cats that just believe that this will never happen to them.
When you think that you are untouchable and you're going to be in society doing wrong, you're going to get caught sooner or later. Because wrong is going to be corrected sooner or later. And I thought that what I do, I can get away with. I did 38 years behind that. I thought I was going to get away with the murder. The police came to my house, surrounded my house, SWAT team, on the roof, in people's backyard, and they told my ex-lady, I want to talk to me for a traffic ticket. Police don't come to your door for a traffic ticket. She opened the door. I was ready. I had my artillery. When they had guns on my daughter, my sons and all on her, I gave up. You know, I could have tried to go out like a soldier, as they say, but that's stupid.
Right.
What, get shot up, get my kids shot up, my woman shot up, because I thought I was untouchable? Ain't nobody untouchable. Long as your skin is made of flesh and you can push your fingernail on your skin and go down and it bleed, you're a human being. If you do that and nothing happens, then I'll look at you differently. Then you can do what you want to do.
It's getting rough in here. You in 7 years. I mean, you in for a while. Seen a lot in the 7 year. When did you know that 7 years didn't mean 7 years?
When I filed my appeal
And
to the court,
when was that?
that was I fought 88. I went back to the court, and the judge told me 7 to life means 7 years before they look at you. And your sentence is life. He said you can be in prison till you die. Like a lot of the sentences they giving to these youngsters right now, all of them got a life sentence with them. A lot of youngsters going to prison now ain't never getting out.
The ones you seeing now coming in with that life sentence right now, do it remind you of you, or are they just a whole different breed?
Few remind me of myself, and it's a whole different breed on the rest of them. A lot of them cannot read, they cannot write, they don't want to learn. All they want to do is hang out at the old table. Each table is already labeled on who you belong to. And everybody's looking, okay, they hang at that table. Okay, he's one of them. And if one of them persons at that table do something, okay, hey, you one of them. You may not even know who they are, but they're going to come at you. Because a lot of them always have the concept, me and my homies. Your homies gonna run. Your homies gonna tell on you. Your homies ain't gonna help you. A lot of your homies don't like you. Your homies is your worst enemy when you're in prison. Because they're the ones gonna get you in more trouble. You cannot get hurt by somebody unless they get close to you. At a distance, you have time to do what you gotta do. But somebody closer, your guards are down. And they slide up against you. Yeah, man, you smoke this weed. Here, take this. As soon as you get one of them, you go. Or they can just... There's a lot of ways to hurt somebody that I saw doing time. Because in that university, you got people from all over the world. Of all criteria, that's dangerous. They humble, they nice, but you get them wrong. Okay, everybody has two sides to themselves. You got a good side and a bad side. When your bad side comes out, you know how you're going to react. You know what's happening. It ain't going to be nothing good. And you're not thinking. When you get angry, you're not thinking. Every art of defense tell you to think. Don't get angry. But when you get angry, what happens? 1 to 10 count, or he's out, or he dead. So, to me, if you're doing wrong, rethink yourself and stop it. Because you're not really looking at what you're doing. You want to do that because you're trying to, like the majority of the people in prison, behind that woman. Majority of people in prison behind a woman. Somewhere in that case line, the woman is involved. Stop, man. That woman ain't going to jail for you. She might help the DA sentence you. If she got kids, they going to tell her, we'll take your kids if you don't testify. They can't just take your kids like that. And the woman ain't thinking, well, hey. Okay, you gone. But you mad at her. Why you mad at her? You the one did it. And you causing your whole family to do time with you when you go to jail because you're going to be begging. Send me some money. Send me some stamps. Send me a package. They didn't go to jail. They didn't commit the crime. You did. This whole thing, if you can't do the time, don't do the crime. A lot of people think that I'm not going to get caught. I'm not going to get busted. Nobody going to do it. But you telling everybody what you did. And you talking about you ain't going to go to jail. You might have told one of the police that's been watching you. Because everybody got bugs, and now they got cameras. All they do, they click. That's the new technology out here. They click, and they take pictures, and all they got to do is text it into the police department or somebody, and you're busted. Remember, you can't be touched.
It's a lot of guys that's in jail for, like you said, women, spousal abuse, killing, doing relationships going back. How many guys wouldn't be in jail if they had just walked away?
A lot.
Talk to her about just walking away. A lot of guys feel like, I use the word, they feel like they suckers, they feel like they busters if they find out they woman cheating and they just don't realize that, okay, that's wisdom. You just found out something, now what you going to do with this information? Are you going to ruin the rest of your life by beating on her, killing him, or just take this education, this wisdom that you got, this game that was just brought your way to find out that this woman was not, either she don't like you no more or this relationship is over now. Just walk away. Talk to me about that.
It's better to walk away. It would be better because if you put your hands on a woman, they have many agencies that will join together to convict you. If that woman is going for somebody else, this is my opinion, it's either you wasn't taking care of your business at home, you wasn't treating her right, or you wasn't satisfying her. Because on the same thing, let's flip it. If a man is with a woman and she ain't doing the right thing, or she's not making that home life comfortable, he's going to go somewhere else and try to find that comfortability. He's going to try to go out and find another thing that satisfies him. So if you have a relationship, work together, talk together, and be humble. Any long-term relationship or anybody ever been in a long-term relationship can tell you, look here, you got to bend, you got to be flexible. You can't be that stern kind of person because each person has their own attitudes and characteristics. Each one likes things and dislikes things. A lot of people need to learn the likes and dislikes of their women so they won't do the wrong thing.
But now this stuff ain't really, you look at the television shows, you look at the movies, you listen to the music. I mean, what you're talking about ain't being taught. This is not the norm. So
they don't want that.
Where are they going to get this information from? How are the guys going to know how to treat a woman and how to treat themselves so they don't wind up locked up?
Well, they should seek it through the program, your program. They got in that cycle, that foolishness, that sickness that you have, that disease that you have, and talk to somebody that knows. Because there's a lot of us that's willing to help. There's a lot of programs out here willing to help people under that disease. Because to the women, if a man lifts his hand, he gonna hit you sooner or later. And if a woman get mad at you and she go to that kitchen and try to make one of them concoctions or get that old grave skillet, you can get hurt by all that. Treat your woman right and the woman treat the man right, the relationship will grow. And if you out there and you just thinking that you can just go do things, one thing for sure, and I can guarantee it with everything I got in my body, you're going to catch HIV. You're going to catch a disease worse than what you can think of. And once you catch that, your life changes. Because there's so many people, which I went through the study because I was a peer educator when I was going to the university. Read the books, saw the pictures of what happens behind certain people. Some are gross. And I just went back, man, and did a whole lot of reconnection. Oh yeah, I went and took me AIDS test, HIV test, just on the fact that you can catch it by human fluids. Eyes, tears, sweat. People like playing basketball, sweating. You can catch it behind that. People say, no, you can't. Read the book. Go read it. If you can't read, learn how to read, or get somebody to read it to you that's not going to miscrew the words. Human body fluids. You can catch it. And a lot of people don't know.
We're going to be all over the board with this. We ain't going to take no breaks. So if you, again, you know you need to record my shows because you're going to have to pause it because this is live. We run this straight through. This is not scripted. This is not rehearsed. This is what we call dialogue. There's no right, no wrong. This is the truth as Mr. Scott know it. This is my truth. This is Mr. McKoy's truth. And that's really what it is. So I'm not here to judge. I'm not here to agree or disagree. This is just information that we want out there and for you guys to be able to utilize. So if you hear something that hits you, understand it. Some of it may just go over your head. Some of it may go around you. But whatever you can take in from this television show and use for positive gain, That's what we want you to do. And if you don't know what to do, that's what this show is. Because a lot of times you just don't know what to do. And you may try it so many different ways, but it's just not working. So you don't know what to do. So turn this show on and try it this way. And if this don't work for you, don't stop trying. But this is another vehicle for you guys to use, to try. And again, we're going to give you the information for the book. Read the book. You guys are wasting the last 24 hours in the day. Spend some time, like he said, reading, getting an understanding, getting to know yourself. You have to give yourself some attention. You have to give your own mind some attention. And if you don't do that, it's like not giving a car attention. If you don't wash it, go look what's going to happen. It's going to be dirty. It's going to be ugly. If you don't work on the engine, the car is going to stop. It's not going to run. And you're the same way. You have to work on the inside and out, beautification all the way around. So again, we're just going to jump around with this. You went to court. Judge said you got life. You're going to do life. You went back to your cell. What was your mind state?
I'm going to live and die in San Quentin. Anybody look at me wrong, I'm going to stab them. Anybody mess with me wrong, I'm going to stab them. Everything. My attitude was just kill, kill, kill. Because I'm never going to get out. So I had the attitude that I don't care about outside. Not knowing how I had impact later on down the line on people outside. And my attitude was just F everything, the whole world.
So how many years did this last?
Wow. I put a hard 10, very hard 10. And then I started listening to a lot of the older brothers. And then it started, breaking down. But then I still had to, do my little stuff inside to survive.
So 17, 18, it took you that many years? How many years did it take you to kind of start where you saw that you were, like you said, you're at the top of the hill, you still got to do what you got to do, you're in prison.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you're starting to feel a change about yourself.
It started from the 70s to say about 25 years.
About 25 years?
Yes, because where the prisons I was at, in the time of the riots that carrying on, just the color of your skin to get you stabbed. You ain't got to do nothing, just your complexion. You black, they stab you. You had a lot of racial riots over a lot of ludicrous things that I consider ludicrous. Just because your nationality, you get hurt. Not even knowing why somebody in your nationality or your group did something you not even being aware of. I've been in Tracy where you walk in the hallway and a ride jump off and them gates slam. Bam! You got to handle your business right there. If you're good with these, okay. If not, you better know something. Because they're not going to open up that gate until everything stops. They throw the gas in there, shoot the little guns in there. And when everybody stops, then they run in and manhandle you. Just like you see them cowboys tie up them little cattle. Yeah, you chained up the same way. And they're going to do you bad. So I looked at it, man, I said, man, I was starting to see certain lifers go home. So I said, well, man, if they getting ready to go, maybe I can go. Then
Okay, sorry.
Yeah, then that's when I really started getting involved in programs. I'm seeing a lot of dudes going home, they in this program. So I said, let me go in there and see what they learning. I'm a sponge for knowledge.
Right.
So I went in the program, and each program I got involved in, I learned something about them programs. Each program had something to offer. And my whole views just started changing.
Tell me about the first time you heard somebody come to you and say, old boy went home. He was a lifer. That's somebody that's a lifer, and lifers, you don't think they're going home. But somebody came and told you, old boy went home.
Yes.
Well, tell me about that.
Well, the first time was in 78 when the SB 42 came out.
SB 42, what's that?
That's a new law that if they gave you 7 to life and you did pass 13 years, you did pass your time, you got out. They was walking out San Quentin in hundreds, 75, 100. I'm sitting in the MAC office doing my film, looking at a lot of brothers. I had a partner that just had assault on police. He went home. Day before. Because back in the days, if you had a problem with somebody, you took it in the cell, in the wing had an empty cell with a 5-gallon bucket, a towel, and some Murder Ones. Murder Ones is real dark glass. It look like black paint on them. Yeah. And you get in there for 5 minutes. Fighting for 5 minutes is a long time. The loser cleans the cell. If you want to get in there with the officer takes all this stuff off and get in that cell. Or you can take it in the ring. The warden told everybody, if you got a problem with somebody, you take it in the ring at 12 o'clock. 12 o'clock, that gym was standing room only every day. I seen staff and inmate, male and female, inmates. I mean, I saw better fights inside a prison than I see on these fixed boxing matches. And I just said, back, wow, homeboy went home. And I said, man, I wish I could go home. I wish I could go home. I said that a lot. But it was always that wall. When you look out there, the bars, the concrete, and Satan's disciples pulling at you. And I just made my mind. I said, man, I'm going to get out. I'm tired of this. You know, I'm going to back away from a lot of that foolishness. I'm going to get it in programs and get my head right. Because coming out of university with a negative mentality or a jailhouse mentality, you won't last long out here. You won't.
I want to thank you guys for watching this show. It's really impossible for us to do 38 years in 1 hour. There's 1,000 questions. We could have did this show for 2 days straight and let the cameras run and still not have enough information. But what I like about it is the information, it cross genders, it cross races. If you're a female and you caught up in some of these situations, this information help. If you Chinese, black, Italian, I don't care what it is, this information helps. And that's what it's about. Young, old, you got guys, they sentencing young men 14 years old into prison. So this really helps. If your kid is in 7th grade, 13, 8th grade, just 14 hitting in high school, this information helps because anybody can be a victim of circumstance. You know, sometimes you do have to defend yourself, and sometimes the courts don't understand that. You know, so try to keep yourself out of those situations, and if you do catch yourself caught up in that situation, that's what Mr. McKoy is here for. That's what Mr. Scott is talking about, that there's life after death. There's life after death. I want to close the show. I want to let Mr. McKoy come back on and tell you how to get in contact with him, tell you how to get his book and how to receive this information. You really need to get in contact with this guy. He's a good friend of mine. I'm going to let him close the show out. And again, contact me right here. And please, please, stay out of them courtrooms. You get in them courtrooms, man, anything can happen to you. This judge is swiping that pen so fast, he can swipe 12 and he can swipe 38 to life. He can swipe 16 months. So you don't know. You rolling the dice when you get in them courtrooms. Stay out of them courtrooms. Stay out of those police cars. And like he said, think. Use your brain. Think. It's easier to just walk away from a lot of situations. There's a lot of court cases that would never have come about if the person just walked away. I almost need to change this show to walk away. But I'm going to let Mr. McKoy close this out and tell you how to get back in contact with him. Here it is there.
Okay, first of all, I want to thank Mr. Shahid Scott for coming on and sharing the information that he disclosed. And Mr. Scott is a good man, and he didn't have to do this, but he's motivated and inspired to help and assist and try to bring about change. And like I said, I'm Douglas McKoy, and like I said, I was with Men and Women of Purpose, who was based in Richmond, but I'm a Solano County resident and have been here for the last 14 years, and my community is important to me. And so out of the Men and Women of Purpose came about the change in criminal behavior consulting services. You can contact me at 510-708-4350, or you can email me at ccbscdmc@gmail.com. ccbscdmc@gmail.com. And the curriculum is 14 lessons. It's vital to end the cycle and bring change. I don't know everything, but I know some things, and that's what I'm trying to impart to you, and especially the ones that's incarcerated and coming out of incarcerated. And like I said, you're not a good criminal. So if you spending more time in jail than you are out here on the streets and being with your family and being productive, you're not a good criminal. Stop fooling yourself. And that curriculum is not. I had it hasn't been published yet. I'm seeking to get it published, but I have copies that I can copy and present to you. And so get in touch with me at the address that I gave you, the email and the phone, and I will respond to you. And moreover, I have connected myself with Robin Weedman that has the Princess House that's for women. It's based in Sassoon, and her and I are collaborating on some stuff. And out of that collaboration came to life the New Man Clean and Sober House. That's something else. It's also based in Solano County. So let's break the silence and put your pride to the side and admit that you need help. And let's join together as one and help support this democracy and bring about change in our community. And again, I want to thank Mr. Shahid Scott. Mr. Scott, close out.
Yes. And for all the people out there, think before you do something. Get a lot of prayers in. And stop the violence. Stop the violence. On everybody, man. All y'all, stop the violence, man. Because you hurt somebody, man, you just not hurting that one person. There's a magnitude that's right behind it. Just like one wave to come on the shore, there's a lot more to come right along with that wave. Man, wake up, man. Wake up, man. We tired. We coming here to help you. You know, and anything I can do to help you, man, I'll sit down and talk to you, man. You can contact Doug, my brother. They know how to contact me because I'll be on the move, man. I'm working. The job I got has me doing it because I'm working legally and collecting legal money, not fast money. Fast money sending you to jail. I have a good paycheck and a good job. You can have the same thing when you come out. Come out, contact the brothers, and get your life together. Women, do the same thing. There's programs for you out here too. I didn't say just one because everything fits both. So get your life together, and you need to be out here. All of you that's on this program, you behind them walls, you need to be out here and enjoy all of this. You won't go back. If you have a bad addiction, get it together. Stop that addiction and let your addiction be that of righteousness and success. And may God be with you.
Thank you, Mr. White.
I told you. Nowhere else. CCQ, Charles White Live. Thank you very much. Cut.